Everything Jiwoo thought he understood about his world just got rewritten. And chapters 121 through 200 are where Eleceed stops being a story about a boy learning to fight and becomes a story about a boy learning what he was always meant to be. The scale of everything shifts in these chapters. Not gradually, not carefully. All at once, like a door being kicked open to reveal a room 10 times larger than the hallway that led to it. The threats are bigger. The stakes are personal in ways they have never been before. And the answers Jiwoo has been quietly searching for, about his ability, about Caden's past, about the organization that has been pulling strings from the shadows since before he was born, those answers start arriving. Not all of them, not cleanly, but enough to change everything. The organization reveals its true shape in this arc, and it is enormous. What looked from the outside like a rogue faction of dangerous Awakeners operating outside normal society turns out to be something far more structured, far more ancient, and far more deeply embedded in the Awakener world than anyone on Jiwoo's side had imagined. They have resources. They have history. They have people inside institutions that were supposed to be safe. And they have a plan for Jiwoo that has been in motion for a very long time. Caden finally starts talking. Not everything. Never everything, not all at once. That would not be Caden. But in these chapters, piece by piece, the wall he has kept between himself and full honesty with Jiwoo begins to come down. What gets revealed about Caden's past reframes every single interaction they have had since the beginning. The training was never just training. The standards were never just standards. Every impossible thing Caden pushed Jiwoo toward had a specific reason behind it. A reason rooted in something Caden witnessed years ago. Something that left a mark on him deep enough that he has spent every day since trying to make sure it never happens again. The emotional weight of these revelations lands harder than any fight in this arc. And there are some genuinely spectacular fights in this arc. Because the new antagonists introduced here are operating on a level that forces Jiwoo to reach for things he has never reached for before. Speed alone does not cut it anymore. Raw power alone does not cut it anymore. What these opponents expose, brutally, efficiently, without mercy, is the gap between having an extraordinary ability and truly mastering it. Jiwoo gets pushed to the edge of that gap in ways that are genuinely painful to watch. He loses ground. He takes hits. He finds himself in moments where the outcome is not certain, where the usual answer of just being faster is not enough. And then he finds something deeper. It does not have a clean name yet. Caden does not have clean words for it either. But in the middle of the hardest fight of his life so far, Jiwoo reaches past speed, past reaction, past everything that has defined his ability until now, and touches something that feels like the actual core of what he is. It is raw. It is unstable. It lasts for only a moment. But every single person who witnesses it goes completely still. Because what they just saw should not be possible for someone his age, his level, his experience. What they just saw belongs to a different category of Awakener entirely. The arc closes with the kind of quiet that follows something irreversible. Jiwoo is different now. Not dramatically, not visibly. He is still the same warm, stubborn, relentlessly protective person he has always been. But something has been unlocked that cannot be locked again. Caden knows it. The enemies who survived know it. And somewhere at the top of the organization, the person who designed the plan for Jiwoo all those years ago is smiling. Because this was always what they were waiting for. This was always the moment the real plan was supposed to begin. And Jiwoo just handed it to them.
There is a difference between being powerful and being ready. Jiwoo Seo is becoming one of the most powerful Awakeners of his generation. But ready? That is a completely different question. And chapters 201 through 280 are where Eleceed forces that question into the open and refuses to let it go. When we pick up, the aftermath of what happened in the previous arc is still settling. The thing Jiwoo unlocked, that raw, unstable, world-stopping core of his ability, did not come with instructions, did not come with a manual, did not come with Kaidan having clean answers for once in his life. What it came with was attention, the wrong kind, from the wrong people, at exactly the wrong time, because the organisation has shifted strategies completely. Everything they tried before, the scouts, the closers, the direct confrontations, all of it failed, and powerful organisations that fail do not keep failing the same way. They adapt, they recalibrate, they find the angle that has not been tried yet. And the angle they find in this arc is one that Jiwoo, with all his speed, all his growing power, all his tactical awareness, is almost completely unprepared for. They stop coming after Jiwoo directly, they go after the world around him instead. The Awakener community that Jiwoo has slowly, reluctantly, stubbornly become a part of. The people he has trained beside, fought alongside, quietly decided to protect, whether they asked for it or not, becomes the target. Not to destroy them, that would be too simple, too direct. Instead, the organisation begins dismantling the structures that keep that community stable. Alliances fracture. Trust between factions that took years to build gets poisoned in days. Institutions that were supposed to be neutral suddenly are not. And everywhere where Jiwoo turns, the damage is already done before he arrives. This is the arc where Jiwoo learns that speed cannot solve everything. It is not a gentle lesson. Kaidan watches Jiwoo navigate this with an expression that is difficult to read, even for someone who can feel a cat's emotions, because there is pride in there, genuine pride, at how far Jiwoo has come. But there is something else too, a recognition that the next phase of what Jiwoo needs to learn cannot be taught in training sessions, cannot be drilled into muscle memory, it has to be lived, and living it means taking losses that leave marks. The new characters introduced in this arc deserve their own moment because they are exceptional. On the antagonist's side, a strategist emerges, someone who has never thrown a punch in their life, who could not survive a direct fight with a mid-tier Awakener, but whose mind operates on a level that makes every physically powerful person around them look like a blunt instrument. This is the person who designed the new strategy. This is the person Kaidan identifies as the most dangerous individual Jiwoo has ever faced, not because of power, because of intelligence. On Jiwoo's side, an unexpected alliance forms with someone who should by every measure be an enemy. The history between this character and Kaidan runs deep and complicated, full of old wounds and older debts. But what they bring to Jiwoo's circle changes the dynamic of everything going forward. New information, new capabilities, and a perspective on the organisation that nobody else has, because this person was once inside it. The signature fight of this arc does not end the way fights usually end in Eleceed. Jiwoo wins. Of course he wins. His power at this point is operating at a level that makes most direct confrontations genuinely one-sided. But winning the fight costs something. Something that cannot be replaced quickly. Something that the strategist on the other side factored into their plan from the very beginning. And as the arc closes and the dust settles and Jiwoo stands in the middle of another hard-fought victory, a message arrives. Not a threat, not an attack, not another wave of closers. A message, addressed personally to Jiwoo, using a name that only one person in the entire world should know. A name from before the ability, before Kaidan, before any of this. A name from his past. And the handwriting belongs to someone who is supposed to be dead.